Okay, I'm at the corner of Railroad Ave and School Street and the railroad tracks, and that's Adams Street. So that's Railroad Ave, goes to those businesses, and then there's Adams Street. And Victor, New York, most know already that they're involved in doing a Route 96 corridor study, which is going to result in some proposals that may get some state funding, and or it's just proposals that will help us to know what to do with our road infrastructure. Almost everybody agrees now that the traffic on Main Street and Victor and the Village, mostly between High Street to Maple Avenue, or even School Street to Maple Avenue, either way, is bottlenecked all the way sometimes to 490, and then even in the other direction. With all the development and Eastview Mall and all the stores, which is really good for the county sales tax and for Victor in general, but the traffic has just gotten so intense that it probably is actually causing people not to stop. And so with that in mind, we don't really want to bypass the Village. We want to keep the traffic in the Village. And so one of the proposals, one of the things that's on the table is taking out these railroad tracks, which has been on the table or talked about for 20, 30, 40 years as a possibility. The railroad tracks are owned by the county. I believe they're rented by Finger Lakes Railway. And the only thing that this stretch from School Street to 251 is used for is storing railroad cars. The county is bringing in a lot more revenue if Victor can continue to develop. As of right now, I mean, really, actually, some people would say even 10 years ago, we've got too much development to handle the traffic through the Village. So something has to be done, and there may be more than one thing, but this is one of them. And they want to put a road, but it's only supposed to be one lane, as far as one of the ideas. Maybe keeping the tracks but putting something alongside. I don't think that'd work. It's got to be two-way. And anyway, so I'm going to be going down the railroad track and coming up and showing you an idea I have that could actually, if they want to preserve the railroad track, they could, at least a portion of it, but also have a nice two-lane road that we could have as like a traffic relief route. And just because it's going to be built partially at least on the Lehigh Railroad, which is this is part of it, the old one that used to run all the way to Buffalo, to Pennsylvania, mostly for the transport of coal. Call it Lehigh Blvd. So that's going to be my proposal of my idea, based on going to the meetings, listening to what they're saying, and I think also maybe a little bit better idea than what they've already got. So that's it. Straight. I'm only about 20 yards right now from the railroad track, and I'm walking down School Street to Victor Child Care Center, and basically just past here is basically a two-lane road in and out that goes back to some warehouses that are rarely full, very not rented all the time. It's kind of out of the way. They may be rented, or I don't know, somebody said it was recently bought. I don't know for sure. Here it is right here. Taking this and going straight down, it sort of angles sort of past the swamp. The swamp is mostly to the left, down at the end there, and then right to the tracks. So this would be where Lehigh Blvd, is just my suggested name, would be. And it would just continue right on to the tracks from here. Okay, I'm standing on the railroad track, right around where it's between 251 and School Street, right behind Miller Funeral Home. And if you look close up here, that's Hoffen's Liquor Store and Victor Advanced Chiropractics. So right there is a 2-lane in and out, and it just goes, this is like a line of parking spots that I hardly ever used. So my idea is have a road right there that could come over to Lehigh Boulevard. That's what I'm calling it. Now that goes down to 251 2-lane, but here the tracks could be kept if, you know, the village and town and everybody wants to keep them. For instance, right here, well, first off, the road would go right there at an angle past the warehouses that I just showed, and the child care center, but not affecting adversely the child care center, helping whoever owns this land, including the warehouse space, probably, because there'd be a road going by it, and then possible development in the wedge. Now down here, you could have, right in the wedge, would be a train depot, which would be a great idea for tourism. This is the Lehigh Railroad, and they've already tried it around Christmas time. They've had, I don't know, every year they fill up like 2 or 3 weeks ahead. They pre-sell the tickets, and for the Christmas time Santa Claus train or whatever, you know, it always fills up. Every time that they run it, it's a success. So it could be an ongoing thing that could bring in revenue for Finger Lakes Railroad, which they rent it, I guess, from the county, and it'd be a great anchor for you know, tourism. And I'm calling it Lehigh Boulevard kind of because that has a sort of a slower sound to it, something you go slow on a boulevard. And this is supposed to be maybe a 30-mile, maybe 40-mile-an-hour zone. The DOT has talked about that, wanting to keep it kind of slow. It still goes into the village. Maybe it's people who want to turn right can turn right, people who want to turn left can turn left, come into the village. But it'll really be like a traffic relief route, like I said. If we're going to continue to develop, we need to do something like this, and this, I believe, is the best overall solution. I'm not saying I know everything, and I hope I'm not offending anybody, but this is just an idea, my suggestion. Lehigh Boulevard, train depot for tourism, and a 2-lane, not a 1-lane. That's it.